5 tuning tips. It's an obvious one, but get your tuning guide from your sailmaker, and especially if you're coming into the class new or new to racing, get that guide, get the mast set up in that position, and start going sailing and getting used to it. There's a reason, particularly with the guys who have been involved in the fleet for a while, who kind of supply sails into the fleet as well, got pretty good experience on what works and what doesn't work for the majority, and that's what's put into these tuning guides. So if you're unsure, go to the tuning guide, check it out. You can get yourself pretty close straight away by using those guides. It is a guide though, obviously it's not gospel, but it's a great place to start. And if you've got queries on, or it's not quite working, or you're struggling with something, give one of the guys a call, or myself, or talk to someone in the fleet, and you'll definitely get an opinion, but it might just tick the box for you. Specific stuff, definitely focus on your centerboard depth upwind if it's breezy. Make sure that's marked so you can replicate that. That's a key sort of upwind performance driver in the breeze, so to make sure you can repeat that. Keep it flat. I'm talking heel angle. Get the boat flat. Too many people sail with the boat heeled to leeward, so in your practice, get focusing on getting your boat flat. Makes a huge difference. Downwind, just sort of tuning wise, just it's more technique really, but try sailing by the lee, and I mean properly by the lee, not dead downwind. If you're properly by the lee, the boat actually gets pretty stable. It's a great way to get downwind in big breeze as well. So work on that. And finally, just one thing from my first comment about tuning guides. One of the key bits is mast rake. That's generally increased over time, but bottom line is, if you can't tack because you can't get under the boom, you keep getting caught up with the boom even if you're letting the kicker off, move the mast more upright. What you gain from performance of having the mast raked, you'll lose tenfold by getting stuck under the boom and doing poor tack. So that would be my 5 little tips just to keep an eye on. Racing tips. So if we're talking nationals start lines, normal start lines, as opposed to gate starts, they're going to be long lines, really long lines. I remember at Hayling Island, 115 boats, you couldn't, if you were at the committee boat to take the 5-minute signal, you didn't have time to sail to the pin end in the lighter conditions. So they're long lines, so you want to be able to get out there, check your line bias, because on a start line that long, 5 or 10 degrees of bias makes a significant amount of difference in meterage up the racetrack. So first of all, racing wise, get your work out your start line bias before the start, particularly if you're sailing in the offshore breeze at Mounts Bay. Get your numbers, go upwind, port and starboard, a couple of minutes on each tack, and get your high and low numbers on your compass, so you always know where you are. You can just, if you want to write them down with a chinograph to remember, go for it, but get your numbers pre-start. You certainly don't want to be spending too long on a low number going upwind on an offshore, because it's going to shift back and you're going to be back on a lift and you'll have lost that opportunity to kind of take that shift. So if you're on a low number, I would say tack. Pretty safe. Get clear downwind. So many boats kind of congregate together, particularly at the bottom mark as well. Get yourself out of those clusters of boats. All those clusters of boats going downwind are slow boats. So if you can get yourself out, get some yardage, and that's where sailing by the lee is great. Get yourself away from those other boats, and you can generally sail around groups of boats nicely. So that's one thing. Racing tip is, get away from other boats downwind on the run, that is. Actually, going back to starts, racing tips, get transits. If you can get a transit, get one. Again, massive lines. You could quite happily start midline on your transit in front of everybody around you. Do it. And the last one, racing tip, is we've all heard it, but don't give up until you cross the finish line, because every little boat you can gain at the end of a 12 race series can make tens and tens of points. Even when you're down and out and you're grumpy, keep plugging away, because you never know, you might be counting that race, and a few points make all the difference. So hopefully some of that might be useful. I wish you all the very best of luck for the Nationals, and in the meantime, if I can help, or my colleague Tom Gillard, please give us a shout. Bye for now.